start with a story that we've been closely following since we first reported on it April 8th. A Klein ISD teacher who has been placed on administrative leave and her son being arrested accused of sex trafficking.
Yeah, 42-year-old Kadria Grigsby and her son, 21-year-old Roger McGee, are accused of recruiting troubled juveniles from local high schools. Joining us this morning is KPRC2 assignment editor Terrence Kelly. Terrence, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
And chatting with us. So when exactly did the school find out about the teacher's involvement in the alleged sex trafficking ring?
Well, according to the court documents, the school found out about it from an employee of the school district who reported it to the school district in February of 2023.
So last February.
Correct.
Wow.
Last February 2023. Once the school employee made the report to the school district, again, this is all according to court documents,
yes.
but once the school employee made the report to the school district calls the sheriff's office and says, hey, is the teacher a suspect in this case? Apparently, school district made that phone call, and they did not do a follow-up once after making that phone call. The sheriff's office, according to court documents, tells the school district, no, teacher's not an employee, and the teacher is not a suspect in the case. And then it kind of dropped after that until it was picked up once the sheriff's office investigators reviewed text messages to determine exactly what the teacher said and what her son said.
I don't get it. What happened? So the new breaking information is that it was an employee at the school who reported this over a year ago now.
Correct.
And so where did they drop the ball?
Well, the school district, and again, we have reached out to the school district repeatedly to try to get a timeline from the school district on what happened. School district is saying we did our part by making that phone call to the sheriff's office, and so we did our part.
And then they just washed their hands of it?
And then they just watched. And we did an extensive article on our website where we give the timeline, we give the breakdown. We spoke to an attorney who's not affiliated with this case, but is an attorney out of Michigan who handles school investigations such as this. She says no. Once the school district received that tip from a school employee, the school district should have questioned witnesses involved. They should have contacted the sheriff's office again to find out what the status of the case is, who the sheriff's office was interviewing, who the sheriff's office is talking to, what text messages that they reviewed.
It was still their responsibility.
They should have done their own investigation.
Correct. The school should have done their own investigation because of the sensitivity of the allegations. This is why the attorney is. If the teacher was accused of talking to her cell phone in the classroom. Okay, that's not an extensive investigation. We need to get the school police involved in such a. But because of the seriousness of these allegations, the attorney is saying they should have, the school district should have went ahead and done their own investigation
on their
as
own,
opposed to relying.
Until it was over.
Correct.
They should have stayed on it until it was done.
Absolutely.
And now here we are more than a year later.
More than a year later, and it wasn't until the sheriff's office investigator pieced this all together through text messages of this young man and his mother, who is a teacher at that school.
What'd they find?
Correct. They found the text message. The text messages were alarming. They found where the mother was the mother was texting with one of the victims and one of the sex trafficking victims and one of the students in this about the financial transactions, about how much money the mother was to receive from one of the clients in this situation. So the text messages show that the teacher had in-depth knowledge of this situation, and she was also involved in this as well.
She didn't do anything about it.
Correct.
Okay, but let's go back to the sheriff's office, though. So the sheriff's office is the one who finds these text messages, but where have they been for more than a year now? That's
another problem. Now, let me add, the sheriff's office in the beginning did a great job in this and handling this from what I could see. They received a report that there was a girl
in February of 2023, or when did they receive the report?
Prior. The sheriff's office received this report in November of 2022.
Oh my goodness.
So November 2022, a girl calls
sounding the alarm.
Police to say, I'm a victim of sex trafficking. I'm at this hotel. Can you come get me? The sheriff's office arrives at the hotel. They call out a human trafficking investigator. They interview the victim in this case. And then they pull surveillance video from the hotel. They pull records to document who called the police. Pull documents to determine who rented out the hotel rooms. The sheriff's office did a great job. Then also they also made the arrest. They arrested the son, the teacher's son in the case immediately once they got enough information. They also questioned the teacher in this investigation as well. The problem was when they got the text documents between the teacher and the son, no one reviewed those documents for over a year. I've contacted the sheriff's office repeatedly to find out what took so long for the investigator to review those documents, and they have not.
Did they just think it was an isolated event?
I'm not sure. This is just a guess from talking to people who are not related to this case, who handles it. The sheriff's office may have felt the suspect, the son, is in custody because he was in custody. He was arrested. The teacher was not arrested at that time. But we have the suspect in custody. So maybe, and again, this is just me guessing from talking to several people. But maybe the son, since the son is in custody, he's no longer a threat. Maybe this isn't no longer a priority investigation. But it should have still become a priority investigation because, again, the school district received this tip that the teacher was involved in this stuff.
And then supposedly the school district, went to the sheriff's office with it, and they know this guy.
Yeah.
Correct.
And that tip, that initial call coming from a survivor, someone that they were trafficking, is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. It was, the initial 911 call was coming from a survivor, someone they were tracking. The tip to the school district was from a school employee whose family member was a victim of the trafficking.
And that was in 2023.
Correct.
First call coming in November of 2022.
Correct.
I know at the top of this conversation, we say recruiting troubled juveniles. Do we know, when we say troubled juveniles, what does that mean?
Apparently these were two of the individuals who were recruited
15, 16, and 17 years old?
Correct. And the 15 and 16-year-old were known runaways. They ran away from home, and somehow they were. And the paperwork has not been able to piece together.
So these kids are vulnerable.
Correct.
They've had a history.
All the kids have a
that they preyed
history.
upon are vulnerable children.
Yes.
Some disadvantaged. Yeah. This is a heartbreaking. I know when we initially covered this a few weeks ago, it's just so concerning. It's alarming, and as parents. I feel for this community, and this was one of 2 or 3 stories back to back that we had in schools around the greater Houston.
I'm a little bit confused too about Kadria Grigsby. I mean, she knew about it or she was involved with it? Do we know yet?
Both. She knew and she was involved. According to the court documents, she knew about it because she was text messaging. The text message they pulled showed that she was communicating with her son and also with one of the sex trafficking victims directly to show the involvement. They had one transaction where one of the Johns in the case, if I may, paid Kadria instead of paying one of the teens involved. So there's financial transactions that they made that they could have connected, the school district could have connected the dots that they've done in
a long time ago. Yeah. All right, Terrence, so I'm sure that we've got all of this listed on click2houston.com by now?
Yes, it's an extensive, there's so much information about this. It gives you the timeline, it gives you the breakdown, I've spoken to the employee who made the tip to the police department. I got her side of the story. I also spoken to an attorney that's out of Michigan who handles these kind of investigations for school districts, and she gives a statement as well.
Excellent
Very
information.
alarming.
Thank you for coming onto the show and sharing all of that with us, Terrence. We appreciate it.